Hey YouTube. Alright, this is now my second video of today. I don't know if you guys seen the other videos, but I make multiple videos a day and I release them spread out because of my work schedule. Sometimes I have more time free than I do other times. So today I'm making two videos. Today's topic is money and stress. And I don't know how many of my other videos you've watched, but I've been in some very tough financial times, and I've been in some very pleasant financial times. And one thing I fear is that I've kind of pushed the idea to my son that money is somehow the thing that makes you happy, and it's really not. I will be the first one to tell you that money does not make you happy. It does not buy happiness. But money does do a few things. It eliminates certain stress factors. It's a lot easier to be happy when you don't have to worry about how you're paying your rent that month because you know that money's coming in, and it's a lot easier to be happy when if your engine dies on your car, you can at least in some level afford to either replace it or get a new car. Having your financial situation in order does eliminate certain stress factors. Not all of them, and not with everybody, because some people are more anxious than others, so they could have everything that they need and still feel stressed about it. So the thing is that I think that money provides you an easier path, but it doesn't help you get down that path so much. What I found is easier is to change your attitude and just kind of be more of an optimistic person, and you kind of have a better outlook on stuff. I remember when I was working at a warehouse, I was making like $12 an hour, which really wasn't very much. And while I was doing it, I just liked the job. I enjoyed it. I was good at it. And I joined the military, and I liked the military. I did the military for 10 years. The only reason I got out when I did was because another job came along. Otherwise, I would have done a career in the Navy, like my fiance's doing. But when you're working hard, or when you're grinding or struggling to make money, it's very easy to look at somebody's Instagram or Facebook and be like, look how happy they are because of all the money they have. And the thing is that, one, you can't judge people's life based off what they're posting on the internet, because that is not their actual life. I know me and my fiance, we fight, and we never post any of that on social media. So if you look at social media and you just judge our relationship based off that, you think we're the happiest couple and we always get along. Now, we are happy and we do get along for the most part, but we also fight. I mean, I can't remember some of the stupid fights. Like, we just got into a fight about her wanting to move a table. And we're both deployed, by the way, and we got in this fight. So, but that just happens. But that just happens, and we cool off, we apologize, and move on with our day. But anyway, but our real life's not posted on the internet, and nobody else's real life's posted on the internet. So when you try not to let somebody else flexing on the internet make you think that you need to do the same thing. The second thing that I want to go over was that I am a really big fan of the idea that life is what you make it. So I'm not saying people don't have bad luck or anything out there, but I do think that a certain amount of your life is based off what you do and your outlooks of it. For example, like I said earlier in the video, I've always liked whatever jobs I have. And it's not because I've had great jobs, it's just because, or at least I believe, I go in there with a good attitude and I just make the best of it. So I think that if you have a good attitude and stuff like that, you tend to do better with you tend to succeed more, or at least you're happy with the level of success you have, depending on whatever you define success as. You might not need the flashiest car, you might not need if you have enough money to provide your family with food and a roof over their heads, and that might make you perfectly happy. And honestly, if you're at a point in your life where you're not living paycheck to paycheck, where your kids got food and your family has a roof over their head, congratulations, you pretty much made it past 50% of Americans and like 95% of the world. Now, my personal opinion, I have been both poor and what I consider myself now well off. I feel like I've met that first that first step of financial stability, where if my car breaks down tomorrow, I'll be okay. If my roof caves in my house, I'll get by it. So I feel like I've made it there. And I will tell you that I am not more happy now than I was before. I do feel less stressed though. I do have to worry about it a little bit less, but I don't think being stress free is just necessarily the same as being happy, because I was just as happy before. I just was kind of living paycheck to paycheck, or I was just getting by. I was pretty much, as soon as my money came in each month, I was budgeting and everything, but I knew where it was going. It was all going to bills, or it was going to food and stuff like that. Now, to be fair, at the time, I could always make a lot of money each month if I just stopped doing some of the bad habits I had, and in some cases still have. But I chose not to do that. So so in conclusion, I would definitely recommend anybody who thinks that you need money to be happy to take a long, hard look at your life and figure out if you can be happy now. A lot of times, the journey to having money is very enjoyable, but although it's nice to have things, it's really the stability that I feel like makes people happy. And you don't need to be rich to have stability. You don't need to be rich to provide things for your family. And to be honest, the kinds of things that you think of stereotypically that rich people do provide for their family, get your 16-year-old a car, get them the new game system and stuff, none of that stuff matters, man. And I'm a firm believer that kids are not necessarily better off with that. And I think as an older person, yeah, it's nice to go online and look at pictures of like the Bahamas, and you're like, oh man, I would really like to go on a trip there. But to be honest, if budgeted, most vacations are not that expensive. So if traveling is your thing that would make you happy, and you think only people with money can do that, that's not really true. I think anybody can do that, especially if you're okay with kind of shopping around. I mean, you can go to Tampa or South Florida, and you can get like a hotel for $60 a night. Go there for 3 or 4 nights, and yeah, I mean for like $1,000, like two adults could really enjoy like a couple days on the beach and some shopping, some museums, stuff like that. Yeah, you won't be buying, bottle service at the club, but well, I'm not interested in that anyway, so I can't really talk to you about it. But you won't be doing stuff like that. But you can do other things, and some of that other stuff's really enjoyable. Like, I'm a museum guy, man. I love going to museums and going exploring parks and stuff like that. I guess I have cheap tastes. And finally, my last point. I don't have too many rich friends, but I do have one, and he inherited money, and he inherited a lot of money. So his day-to-day job is managing the money he inherited because he's so worried about losing it. And I wouldn't say he's unhappy at all, but I will tell you that he does feel a lot of stress about protecting that money, because to him that money is not his. It belonged to his mom and dad who gave it to him. So he took it, and he does live off of it, but he has this thing about like he has to know where every dime's going of the money, which is not a bad thing to have. But I just want to point out that not all people that are financially stable, or, well, in his case, rich, live stress-free lives. They have their own problems that they're working on, their own deals. And again, stop going off Facebook and Instagram for how happy they are or aren't, because it's impossible to know. Just do what it takes to make you happy, and you'll be fine. Or at least that's what I did, and I'm fine. So anyway, that concludes this video. So if you like it, share it around. You can give it a like or subscribe, whatever you do with YouTube videos. I'm still learning all this stuff, so I think you share, like, and subscribe. And keep saving.